Hi everyone, I thought I'd have a little trip out today as it's not bad weather, it's nice and warm. Well, this is Queenborough, and part of Queenborough that for years I didn't even know existed. When I was at school and people used to say they came from Queenborough, I just used to think it was a horrible place. But I didn't realise that there was all this here. There's quite a lot of history here as well. Back in Victorian times, we used to get a lot of barges come here and they would dump a lot of the waste from London, and it would be, when you think of waste, you think of like just rubbish, but it wasn't exactly rubbish. It wasn't exactly rubbish, it was more things like pots and things like that. So it wasn't horrible rubbish as such, but it's quite nice along here, and I always think that it'd be nice to have a boat. And I suppose if we do get one, it would probably be here that we'd keep it. Be a long way off though, but a lot of fishing boats, like that one over there, and I think I can hear people now. But it's a nice day, and this goes, I don't know how far this actually goes, I've never really walked down here, but this is kind of like working boats, I guess, really. People who go out fishing. When I often look out the sea where we are, and I say, I wish I had a little boat, it looks really peaceful, they probably come from here. So around the corner, that's where the pots are, so I'll show you there. I'm just going to pause it for a second while I go past these people. I just wanted to pause it then because there was a couple of people standing there talking and he was swearing a lot, so I thought it'd probably be best just to like pause it for a bit and get past him anyway. And we found a couple who were crabbing and they managed to catch a few, but they're only little tiny crabs. Just we used to take Sophia crabbing, she used to enjoy it. She called them craps, but she really enjoyed it. So maybe we'll bring her down here one day and show her over here. Well, show her crabbing over here. It's not the nicest piece of water, I must admit, but there's crabs in there, so she'll enjoy it. It's not too far from home. So I'm just going to pause it again and we'll go around the corner a little way. Just a little bit kind of well, built up around here, so we're just going to see what we can find. So yeah, it's been a busy few days for us. We've been doing a lot of DIY and still got quite a lot to do, so we just thought we'd have a nice sunny walk along this, I suppose you'd call it a wharf, wouldn't you? Although, I don't know if you know this, bit of trivia for you. If you're ever on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or whatever programme, and they say, what does Wharf stand for? It's warehouse at riverfront. So yeah, don't say I don't give you any knowledge. But this is obviously where fishing boats and stuff are. And I do love the water. I do love the rivers, and you know, like being on a boat. Gary has just brought me my bag and left it in the middle of the pavement, so I've got to go to retrieve it. So I'm just going to pause it for a moment and get rid of the bugs, and we'll carry on. Well, this is where the trawlers are, all the fishing trawlers. So it's not exactly pleasure boats, but still nice. But obviously there's people who work here, and but we're going to carry on and go a little bit further and see what's around the corner. Apparently there's a cafe, I know that much. There is actually a really nice smell of food coming from somewhere. It smells fattening though, I have to say, so I won't be partaking. But yeah, I do want a little boat. It would be so nice just to go out and just on a lovely sunny day, just out right out to sea where it's peaceful and there's no one to bother you. I keep seeing them just float by our house. I think, oh, I just want to be on there, you know. But we'll have to see. Once my house sells, maybe I'll get one. You never know. Of course, I can't be 100% sure, but that building, those two buildings, they just look like air raid shelters to me from the war. They really, well, they could be. They're really old. I think they are, you know. How strange is that? Wow. Look at the state of these. It's really, really old. I think it is. Do you know, I think I saw a video once where these guys were looking through these places. Their channel looks at all the forgotten history places, and I'm sure they were climbing over these walls and filming. But they do look like old bomb shelters, don't they? Of course, I don't know what we can see at the end of this road. Probably nothing. So I'll pause it for now. Well, I was kind of right. It's more or less nothing. Just somebody's business, and you can still see the water over there as we look through the fence. You can just about see a boat and stuff. But we're kind of moving away from that little inlet then. I've just been bitten by something. It's not very friendly. So I'm going to pause the video until we find something a little bit nicer to look at. But those two old, what look like bomb shelters, I'm pretty sure it's this. When I did my East Church video, I looked at these guys who climb and look at bits of history that have been long forgotten, and I'm sure they were in there. So I remember seeing it and thinking, I wonder where that is, and now I've seen it. Apparently here as well there is an island called Deadman's Island, and there's skulls on it and all sorts, but you're not allowed to go on there. So here comes Gary, so I'm just going to pause the video and we're going to carry on. Well, we found a nice little cafe, so we're going to go in and have a cup of tea and maybe something. It all looks very posh, so we're going to go and just have a little sample of that, and I'll let you know how it is. Bye for now. So just big remnants of ships everywhere and little boatyards. When I say I want a boat though, I don't really see myself rowing. It's got to be something a little bit better than that. So this is the part of Queenborough that I was more familiar with. A few restaurants and pubs here that we've been to, and my son performed here. They did a little open air gig over there in this green, and they had put up a stage, and it was done by the radio, and he performed there. So, but straight ahead, this is the main body of water, and that's where you find all of the I was a bit distracted then by defibrillator, where you find all of the remnants of the London rubbish basically that was brought here and dumped, and they're usually quite sought after, and if you get a pot with a lid, then they're worth quite a little bit of money. So people used to come and dig them up, but they used to do that in Sittingbourne as well, not just over here. But this is the tides in. Usually when we come it's not quite this far in. So here we are. Wow. Well, they've made some little pictures. A lot of seaweed been washed up. And there's lots of pleasure boats over there that are moored. So that would probably end up being, if we did get a boat, where it would be lots of yachts. Unless it's a private yacht club. I don't think so. There's lots of yachts. And this way, over there on that piece of land, that's where you dig up all the pots. But they used to just wash up on the shores in the kind of silty mud. And when my children were babies, we used to come here and collect them. We had a lot of stone pots. Some from well-known chemists, and some all kinds of businesses. But believe it or not, it doesn't look up to much, but these are really sort of up and coming along here with the balconies, and could be made so much nicer. But that's a really old pub there, and there's one further up which we went and had a meal in a little while ago. It's not bad here really. I'm being called by Gary, who's standing at the end of the pier. Sorry about the wind. Hopefully my little fluffy ball will cope. I can't hear you, Gary. I have to wait till I get there. So I'm just watching where I stand because it's wet. Obviously I think it was underwater a little while ago. It's very slippery with the weed. Just going to pause the video a second. Well, I reached the end of the pier and it is so inviting. I don't know, part of me just wants to jump in. I'm not going to, obviously. Got all my clothes on and a handbag and everything, phone, but I've just really missed swimming in the sea or going swimming at all throughout this whole pandemic, and standing this close to water has made me feel like just jump in. Of course I won't. So that piece of water that we were where I was filming, the entrance to that is just there, so that's just like a little tributary, is that called? I don't know. But so this house here, see this one, it's got like pillars. My house is designed to look like that. That's a real one, but mine's a knockoff version of that. I don't have archway windows, but that's kind of that portico outside. That's what's outside my house. That's kind of designed to look like that. So it's up for sale now if anyone wants to buy it. Lots of people out on their yachts. It's very sunny and I'm squinting. I wish I put some sunglasses on. There is lots of fluffy white clouds, but the sun is out and in my eyes. So Gary wants to see if we can walk along this one that I'm showing you now, that goes all the way out. It doesn't go all the way out to those cranes. Those cranes are at an island called the Isle of Grain, which is actually quite a long way from here, but obviously not as the crow flies, but it is as you're driving. But you know, but not being a crow, it's a long way. When I worked for the ambulance service and I used to dispatch vehicles, quite often it would tell me that mine was the closest crew for there, because it isn't, unless it was an amphibious vehicle, you know, forget it. So anyway, I'm walking back now, going back to the main shore bit. I'm going to pause it so I don't fall in. I know that would probably get me a lot of views, but I don't much fancy it. So I'm going to pause this and I'll catch up with you again in a moment. Well, those clouds up there making this look a little bit darker, but the sea is beautiful. It's got the sun glistening off it. And we're going a bit further up. There's a boat out there. Can't really see too much too clear though. But I think Deadman's Island must be there. That piece of flat land. Not allowed on it. But apparently it was, I've just got one of those Q readers and I shall read a little bit about the history later. It's apparently got lots of bodies on there, and it's to do with when they transported prisoners to Australia back in the day. So yeah, lots of history on this place. I think Gary's just trying to see if we can walk along this jetty, but I don't think we'll be able to. I think it's for people who've just got boats there, and that's it. If you haven't, you can't. But I'm heading to the end because there seems to be, I don't know, like a kind of dirt path that might go a little further. So that would be nice. So I'm just, don't know, sorry about that. Just looking at the sky. The sun's so bright I can't see what I'm filming. So I'm going to pause it until I get there. I just got to the end of this little bit, and then there's this old anchor. And this is called Crundle's Wharf. And I'm not sure if you're going to be able to read this. It just says, this was once a general purpose wharf, much used by sailing barges bringing cargoes of timber and building materials to Queenborough. Across the waters of the West Swale can be seen Chetney Marshes with Deadman's Island immediately to the north, where Napoleonic prisoners of war who died on the hulks were buried. Other seamen were also interred there who perished during the quarantine of vessels in the River Medway. Public access to this wharf is permitted by Abbott's Laboratories. Well, right behind us, the other side, see, this is obviously that's the wharf, and there's Deadman's Island over there, but this building you can just about see, that's Abbott's Laboratories, and they make drugs. So yeah, they owned all of this apparently, but obviously not. Maybe they do, maybe they kind of own that wharf as well, and when you rent space off of them, perhaps it goes to them. I'm not sure, but I'm going to pause it now and make my way to the end. So I made it to the other side, and this is the path, and you can just see that this mooring goes all the way around. Actually, couldn't see that from that side, but this side is more little yachts and pleasure boats. People often come here to sit and eat their lunch. Who I guess they must work nearby. So I think if we carried on, we'd get all the way to Sheerness, and we'd get round this bend, we'll probably see the oil rig. Well, I decided to have a little sit. It's hard to film when you're walking along. I haven't got the gimbal because I can't plug the mic in, and then if I don't have the mic in, you hear all the wind noise, makes it sound like force 9 gale is blowing even when it's not. So Gary's gone ahead to see what's around that little bend. There's a little slipway, which I figure must be for the Coast Guard, and he's going to see what's around there. And I think you'll probably be able to see the oil rig, because once you get past Queenborough you start getting towards Sheerness, and there'll be an area soon where you can't walk because it's all brand new cars that come off the boats, and they have car parks as far as the eye can see. But this is just really beautiful day, and I liked it here because it's nice and tranquil, and you could hear the sound of those little waves. So this is not the sea, this is called the Swale, and basically it's just the water that surrounds the island. So when you get to Sheerness it becomes open sea, but when you get to this part, it's between here and the mainland, it's just called the Swale, and it's more industrial, guess, really. It's not for pleasure. I mean, you can go out on your pleasure boat, but you're heading towards the sea. So over there, industry, that's the Isle of Grain. So that is kind of over the sea, if you like. But once you get to that piece there, where that little bit of land sticks out, then you're heading to the sea. Weird, isn't it? I've got a family coming past. I'm just going to pause it for a second.
Boys, stop! Boys!
Well, that didn't kind of work. I thought I'd paused it, but it's so bright I couldn't see the screen, and so you saw them whiz by on their bikes. Never mind. And their mum trying to catch up. Boys, stop! They're just too excited. This is actually quite a nice path to walk along. Gary and I have never been to this part of the island before. All the years that I've been here, never knew this was here. I mean, obviously I knew Queenborough was here, but not this. And this must go on for a lot longer than this. So suddenly 1 million people came along. This little tranquil spot that nobody should know exists, and everybody's coming along. I guess everybody likes to walk by the sea. Well, it's not quite at the sea, but you know what I mean. The Swale. Well, the nicest of names, and I don't know where it gets that name from. I guess it's all part of the history that I should look up for this island. I think I might be a bit zoomed. That's it. So yeah, we've got this little stony shoreline, but I love the sound of the sea. Because it is a little tidal, obviously you can hear the waves, but I love the sound of that when it just laps the shoreline. I like it when I'm trying to sleep. I slept at Sheerness once in a camper van, and it was just lovely of a night time, just listening to the waves and the gentle of the sea on the stones. Just lovely, very soothing. Well, I can see Gary has now made it to that jetty, and he's standing right at the end of it. I don't know if you can see the little red person there, that's Gary. So I'm going to pause it for a little while because walking along here, I'll try anyway, but I'm not very good at keeping it steady. Well, maybe it was because I was holding it in my left hand. I'll try with my right, perhaps it'll be a bit better. Not the nicest of view because we're looking at the Isle of Grain and all the industry over there. There is a power station over there. That's probably that thing with the chimneys. I'm not sure if it's nuclear. Oh, I think the sucker is nuclear, you know. Not sure. Not absolutely sure. But I believe it. Might be. So, oh no. I could imagine Homer Simpson in there, head of safety. Let's just hope it's not. Oh my. A raining. Lots of seaweed been brought in. You get times like that when a lot of seaweed and kelp and stuff gets washed up. Someone in a microlight. Lots and lots of gentle pursuits. And I think I need a few gentle pursuits. I know crochet is quite a gentle pursuit. But I think I need to be out on the water. I've always wanted to have a boat. When the boys were small, I had this little, gonna get a small boat and a nice little car with a nice little, we thought we'd get a nice little boat for it, and never did get one. When you consider that, you know, we're surrounded by sea, and it would have been ideal. Lots of places to put it in the water, and we didn't do it. And I am very up close and personal with one of those turbines that I hate. People ask me why I hate them, because there's such green energy. Because one sweep of that turbine is enough to power a house for a month, I think. That's what I read. Might even be longer. But the reason I hate them is because they're ugly. You know, windmills used to be pretty, but that thing, it's ugly. And do you know they're manufactured here? They are. So that business took off in a big way. So I'm going to pause the video now and see what Gary's found, and I shall come back to you in a second. Okay, so I've made it to the end of the slipway. Sun's gone in for a little bit, but as you can see, that path goes a little way further until you get to that boulder area there where it's all sectioned off. And I'm just interested to see where these people go, because I've got a debate with Gary whether they go around the corner or whether you have to stop and come back. So it'd be interesting to see, because he didn't go that far. And if they disappear around the corner, I know that you can get all the way to Sheerness. But if you see up there, you can just about see the oil rig that we have walked to before. So hang on, are they coming back? Looks like they've stopped, doesn't it? No, they've disappeared. Looks like they might have disappeared around the corner. Maybe. No, they are coming back. So he's right, can't go any further. So yeah, lots of boats and ships out here. And that there must be Deadman's Island. You can just see it goes round. So yeah. We've got a hell of a long walk back. All that pulls in, I've gone quite a way. So that must, from there, that little bit that sticks out there, all the way along, got to be Deadman's Island. I shall read about that later. They've got all of these Q readers along the sea in Sheerness and here that tell you all about the histories, and it really does date back to Elizabeth I and, well, even back to the Vikings. So yeah, lots of history here. So that's it really for today. That's all I'm gonna film, because there's nothing else to film. That looks like a dark cloud on this phone, but it isn't. It's just a little white fluffy one. But I was hoping that it doesn't look as dark as it looks on my screen, because it really isn't. It's really sunny today and lots of blue sky, but the clouds look like they're going to pour with rain on this screen. I've got a feeling the camera phone has seen better days. I don't think it films what I can see. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So bye for now. Thank you for watching, and it's just a little impromptu visit out to Queenborough and Crundle's Wharf and Deadman's Island and all those things. I know Gary would love to go over there, but it wouldn't be very hygienic anyway. So thanks for watching, and bye for now everyone. See you soon.